Hello, grade 12s. Welcome back to the channel, Science Therapy, hosted by the one and only science therapist, Abudiwa Sos Ukobela Wemet. And without any further ado, let's look at this question that we have here. Okay, so we are on question 7. It says, in the figure below, KM is a vertical post set in the center of two circles which lie in the same horizontal plane. So the keyword there is same horizontal plane. MKN is equals to MLK, which is both equal to x degrees, as indicated in the diagram here. The radius of the inner circle ML is R, as we can see, and then and the radius of the outer circle MN is 2R units, as indicated here. Now, I want us to focus on this statement here. KM is a vertical flagpole set in the center of two circles which lie on the same horizontal plane. Now, if this, we are told that they lie in the same horizontal plane, and this here is a flag post, this tells us that we have 90 degrees here, but also MN should be 90 degrees as well, right? Because they will be perpendicular to this flag post. So your MN will be perpendicular to KM, and then also as well ML will be perpendicular to KM, right? Then that's the first observation that we have there. Now calculate the value of X. Again, let's continue with the strategy that we discovered. We said every time we are facing these questions, we just have to identify the common side between the two triangles that we are given there. So the triangles the triangles of interest here are KLM. So let's highlight them. KLM, this is a triangle number 1 of interest. And then number 2, we have KMN. So these are the two triangles that we are interested in. And then now you can see that our common side there is KM. So we will try to express in terms of KM in both these triangles, right? So starting with the green one, which is triangle. So we'll say in triangle KLM. Let's now see what we are given. We are given this is 90 degree, remember. So this makes it the adjacent side to the angle. And then our KM here becomes the opposite side. Now, if we have adjacent and opposite, we know that the trig ratio that applies there is what? It's a tan, right? So that's tan X is equals to what? Opposite. Our opposite is in the form of KM, but then our adjacent is the value R, right? So remember, we want to make KM the subject of the formula. So this will be KM is equals to, we cross multiply this once, that's R multiplied by tan X, right? Then let's go ahead and call this equation number 1. Right, then let's come to this other triangle there. This is triangle what? So we'll say in triangle KMN. So let's say KMN. Again, we want to express this with KM being the subject of the formula, but let's check. This is a 90 degree angle. That means SOHCAHTOA can also apply. But then let's look at it from this angle that we are given here. You can see that we are given the opposite side, which is this 2R here, but then we are looking for the adjacent side here. So again, we can use tan, right? And this time this will be tan X, and then our opposite side this time around is the 2R that we see there, and then our adjacent is the KM, right? Note that we are trying to express with this with KM being the subject of the formula. So this will just swap positions. We will have KM is equals to 2R over tan X. And then let's go ahead and call this equation number 2. Now at this point, since we can see that both these equations are now expressed with KM being the subject of the formula, that means what can we do now? We can say, let's equate equation 1 and equation number 2. Right, so we have found the common side, and then we have expressed this in terms of the common side. Now it's time for us to equate the two equations. So we will have R tan x is equals to 2r over tan x. Right. Now at this point, what can we do? This is over 1, remember? So we can just cross multiply this, but then bring the r over to the side. So let's just swap the position of tan x and r here. So that means I will have tan squared x is equals to what? 2r over r. Right. So I hope you understand what I did here. 1 times 2r still remains 2r. And then I just swap the positions of the r and the tan x. Now the r and r will divide out. So we are left with tan squared x is equals to 2. But then in order to get rid of the square here, we have to square both sides, right? And then this will be tan x is equals to square root of 2. And then to calculate my value for x now, I leave the x here and then say arctan and then root 2, right? And then this is x is equals to what? If you punch it in your calculator, you get 54.74 degrees. And just like that, we have found the value for x. That's how you were supposed to approach this question for a whooping 6 marks. Right, then let's now do our 7.2 now that we've found that. So for 7.2, it's only just 2 marks. So that means we do not have to sweat. Then we are given that r is 5 meters. So now we are given the value 5 meters. And then that means 2r is mn here is 2r. So it has to be 10 meters because that will be 2 times 5. So here we have 2 meters, but then LMN is given to be 110 degrees. Now we can see what rule will apply there. This is the cosine rule because we are given a side, and an angle in between the 2 given sides. Now they're looking for what? The length of LN. So this is basically your cosine rule. So these are the conditions for the cosine rule. You have to have a side, and an angle in between, and then you are looking for the side that is opposite that given angle. Right. So this is how we write it. Remember, the format is a squared is equals to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. But then in accordance to what we have here, this is ln squared is equals to lm squared plus mn squared minus 2 times lm times mn, and then this is cos what? Cos lmn, right? Then let's just go ahead and substitute. Our lm is 5, so that's 5 square plus 10 square minus 2 times 5 times 10, and then cos 110 degrees, right? So that's ln square. Now, okay, let's just go ahead and punch all this into our calculator and just immediately put it into the square root so that we get our value for ln. Then if we just do that, the value that we end up with for ln is now 12.62 meters, right? And that's how you were supposed to calculate that one for just 2 marks. So, okay, please press the thumbs up button if you've enjoyed the lesson and then you found it helpful. But if you've been watching the videos and haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. But most importantly, please share the link with your friends and classmates so that they may also find assistance. Remember, do not be selfish. We are winning as a team.